Hello everyone, welcome to another video on this channel. Today I'll be looking at a game in the Airthing Masters between Radjabov and Aronian and Radjabov. This was the final match on the final day of the Airthing Masters. Whoever won this match would go on to be the champion of the winner of the tournament. Radjabov won the previous day's match, and all he needs is 4 draws in this match to win. And LeBron has to win this match to force a blitz tiebreak, and then if the blitz or games are tied, then an Armageddon. So let's check out what happened in this game. This was the first game of the second match, and it was very interesting. LeBron Aronian with the white pieces opened with e4, and Timur Radjabov responded with e5, one of the most solid ways to respond. Knight f3, hitting the pawn. Knight c6, defending the pawn. Bishop c4. LeBron Aronian opts for the Italian game rather than the um, Rui Lopez here, which actually brought him a loss in the previous day's match because of the Berlin defense. So he might have had an effect on why he went for the Italian game. Bishop c5, the more solid way to respond rather than knight f6, which usually is considered dangerous because of knight g5. c3, trying to build up a center. Knight f6, attacking this pawn. d3, defending the pawn. Yeah, you could opt for d4, obviously, as I showed in my in the game between Daniel Dubov and Sergei Karyakin. But after it takes e5, and then d5, bishop b5, and knight e4, then c takes d4, c takes e4. There's bishop b6 here, and now after knight c3 and castling by black. While it does look like white has an advantage because of his pawns, it can be attacked, which makes it so that you'll eventually have to give them up, and thus not many GMs opt for this line, and they rather go for this d3, the Guaco pianissimo. Black castles there, getting his king to safety. White does the same. Now d6, preparing lines for this bishop, and bishop d5, and then this is a favorite line of the Armenian GM. Obviously you pin the knight. But this isn't the most common move. More commonly, you see bishop b3, which is a prophylactic move, preparing just to move the bishop back maybe to c2 to defend the e4 pawn, and then prepare the d4 push. Or you could also play knight bd2, defending this pawn again, and preparing ideas like rook e1, knight f1, and then knight g3, which are common plans in the Italian. But this is bishop d5 is not most common, but it's still a playable move. h6, attacking the bishop. LeBron Aronian retreats the bishop to h4, and at g5. And now this, while it seems extremely risky, it's actually the most principled choice. This is what makes the bishop c1 to bishop d5 maneuver so risky for white. He may end up with this permanently locked bishop. Aronian has earlier faced this move a5. Then after bishop b3, bishop a7, knight a3, and then king h8. Knight c4, he got a very good position. He played it against Grishuk earlier last year. And he's also faced a6 and then a4 and then bishop a7, knight a3. But but you don't see this g5 move as often as these other two options Aronian has faced. Bishop g3, moving the bishop back. You could actually take the pawn on g5, and after h6 g5, bishop takes g5. But the problem is that this was a rapid game, and you can't really calculate out these concrete lines in such a short amount of time, because the risk is if you spend, let's say, 5 minutes calculating all these lines, but you see that it leads to a losing position, then after that you would have just wasted 5 minutes of your time. So most GMs opt not to do this and just play the more natural move, which is in this position bishop g3 and a5. Now this stops b4, or it doesn't stop a4, but it stops any ideas with b4 attacking the bishop, which you usually see in the Italian game. Rook e1 and now rook e8. which is a novelty as early as move 10. And this isn't anything really special because it doesn't provide any sort of imbalance. But the Italian is one of the most heavily analyzed openings, and you do see moves like knight h7 here, defending this pawn, or bishop e6, or bishop g4. And Rookie it doesn't really put any immediate pressure on white, which is why it might not have been played. Knight bd2, finally developing the queenside knight. Bishop a7. Now just more prophylaxis, moving the bishop back. Knight f1. Bishop e6, and now bishop e5. Now, none of the bishop trades after bishop takes e6 are particularly appealing for white. He has a more important job for the bishop, which is to put pressure on the block. Bishop e5, now bishop e7, moving the bishop back. And you could have maybe gone for a perpetual after bishop c4, bishop e6, and so on. But of course, Radjabov and Aronian is in a must-win situation, so he goes for knight e3 instead. The point of this knight d2 to knight f1 maneuver to eventually get the knight to f5 or d5, both of which are very good squares. Knight e7, a4, defending the bishop, c6 attacking the bishop, bishop c4, knight g6, and now this is to just protect the king a bit more, provide more safety, because currently it's not the most protected king in the world. You could go d5, which looks like a very good choice, but he cannot hold the pawn for after e takes d5, c takes d5, and bishop a2, and one of these two pawns is going to fall, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So it's better to opt for knight g6 first. Queen c2 was played after that. This queen is eyeing the g6 knight, and even though it seems like extremely far away because there are two pawns in the middle and this king can easily move, but the simple d3 to a d4 plan followed up by e3 to e5 already makes breakthroughs, and you just simply pick up the knight. And knight f4, of course, Radjabov sees this and simply moves the knight out of the way. It makes no sense to really overprotect the knight, for example with king g7. Um, yeah, sorry, it makes sense. It makes sense to also protect this knight. It makes uh, no sense to disregard this threat, because if you did do so, then you would be in a if you, for example, just played something simple, such as let's say d5 here, then you would be in a much worse position after e takes d5, c takes d5, and so on. Which is why knight f4 is just a much more logical choice, or king g7. Rook a d1, queen e7. Now both sides do their best to prepare for the opening of the position in the game, because this either d3 to d4 or maybe d4, d6 to d5. And Aronian or Radjabov cannot wait for it, and Aronian immediately goes for it after d4. Now e takes c4, and now rather than just simply recapturing the pawn and being in a good, decent position, he takes. And after g takes a4, e5. And now this is the point between the central pawn break. White's attack is huge, but is it enough to compensate for the material? That's what we're going to find out. And this move, behind this, you have to have a lot of courage to play such a move, because you are just simply, this pawn knight can be taken two different ways. A more logical and sound option would be knight f5, bishop takes f5, takes f5, queen e8, and then c takes d4. And now, even though you might run into d5, but then you would run into d5, and then the bishop is locked behind your pawns, and then your attack is gone, and it's probably going to end up in a draw. So, which is why Radjabov and Aronian goes for the win. D takes c3, and this obvious recapture here is not good, because you have queen g6 check, and this was sort of the point of these breaks. And now after, if you even went king f8, you would lose the game on the spot after queen takes h6. And now if you had king h8, then there would be still a lot of threats after queen takes h6, and you would be in a lot of trouble. So this obvious recapture isn't good, and now you have to take, and he did so. The queen g6 check, king h8, queen takes h6, knight h7, bishop b3, and now you're sacrificing even more material after e takes f2, and then king f1, and now f takes e1 queen. And this was just insane, because you have given up so much material for a very simple mating thread, but in fact this mating thread looks is much more powerful than it looks. Rook takes e1 is played, and now bishop f5, and now this is the best defense. Um, and this is the best defense for black. The bishop is removed from the a6 to c4 diagonal. Now bishop takes f5, and now Aronian is just millimeters away from mating Radjabov's king. And in fact, only one move here does not lead to mate, and that's f6, which Aronian played, protecting the knight with the queen. Now e takes f6 was played. Now queen f7, and now queen f7 to c4 is a threat here. And Aronian just needs to find something special. And now rook e6, which is an extremely good move. But in fact, he could have won on the spot with this move b3. And this is a just extremely good move. It just stops any piece from coming to the c4 square. And then the worst you have in this position is a draw. And you have so many different ways to win. But Levon Aronian could not find this, and he played rook e6. But this is also beautiful. The rook blocks the queen's uh, blocks the um, queen's road to the c4 square. But you would have just been this just provides winning chances for black if he finds the right move, and he does. Rook takes e6, knight g5, attacking the queen and the knight. Now rook takes f6, and now Radjabov sacrifices the queen but safeguards everything else. And now many pieces he has taken previously are just an excellent insurance policy. And now everything gets traded off. Knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop takes h7, rook takes h7, queen h6 check. And now this position it has just become winning for black, because you have two rooks and a bishop for a queen. And everything for white just lies in the potential of these pawns, which could be pushed later on. But with very few seconds on the clock, both sides decide to just settle for a draw after an extremely exciting game. And it just ended in perpetual, and it was just a brilliant game to celebrate the new year, and it was a great start to the final day. After so many draws in the preliminaries, this was an exciting final match. Radjabov ended up winning the match, and thus ended up winning the tournament, and it was a great moment for him. And there were lots of interesting things Levon Aronian said. You can check that out. You can check those interviews out on Chess24 or chess.com. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.